So, what do you want to know first? Where do I begin? Well, that's a good question. Um, I'll tell you what, it's been one hell of a ride. I will be 52 in January, and very interesting life. Um, I want to say at age 7 is when it all started, and I mean, the wheels kind of came off. And I've lived in roughly 45 different places. And I mean, like houses, apartments. I've lived in probably 10 different states. Maybe 8. I don't know. Let's just say in 8th grade, I went to 5 schools in 1 year, and that to do a lot to a motherfucker. I mean, that will, you're a kid growing up, constantly changing. I mean, constantly on the move, constantly new schools, new friends, new people. You know, I'm born and from Belleville, Illinois, but oh my God, dude, I've been everywhere. I mean, I've literally been in like 42, 43 states. Um, but the whole growing up and the whole going to school and constantly trying to adapt. Kids aren't nice, man. Not when you're coming of age. So that's good. Anyway, that's when music really took over. You know, my dad was into music. I didn't really know my dad until I was 18. My mom and him divorced. I want to say I was like 3, so I never really knew him until I was 18. Then we would hang out for the next 10 years, and he became my best friend. Yeah, hunting, fishing, camping. I mean, that was our big 3. And we drank a lot of beer together, told a lot of stories. We caught up, and then he would pass away in 2013, and that was hard. That was really hard to witness. So after losing my dad, um, I was already out of touch with reality. I mean, I was in a band for 11 years that would take me all over the United States. I mean, my dreams were coming to the shit I wanted to do as a kid that I thought I would do. You know, watching Headbangers Ball, MTV, all these videos growing up in the 80s. It's like, man, fuck, I gotta do that someday. I want to do that. And later in life, I would actually do that. Um, I remember living in Tampa, Florida. I guess, you know, this is just one of the situations, a living headquarters. So here I am in Tampa at like age 13, 14. And I remember I told my mom, I remember buying magazines, and there was no internet, none of that. So you'd buy magazines and you would look at all these bands and read and just, like the fucking dream was in the magazine. And how can I get there? How can I be this band? Be this, do this. And there was this club I remember, at a young age, the Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood. And I'm like, man, if I can someday play the Whiskey A Go Go on Sunset Boulevard, uh, fuck it, I made it. So 10 years, I remember telling my mom, honest to God, I told my mom, hey, someday I'm going to play the Whiskey A Go Go and I'm going to call you. And well, 10 years later, I did. And I remember calling her the night before we I was sitting in the dressing room, backstage room, whatever, and I called my mom. Said, "Hey, I made it. I'm in Hollywood. I'm playing the whiskey. Here we go." And yeah, yeah, that was crazy. You know how yeah, put my mind to something. I didn't know the guys. I just knew I didn't know who the group of guys was going to be. I just knew at that point in my life, at a young age, I would someday find my core, and we would make that happen. And man, did we ever do exactly what I thought we were going to do later in life? You know, um, yeah, a lot of trial and error. Like me and Justin, the drummer, I grew up with him after coming back from Florida. I reunited with him. We had played baseball on Little League before I left Troy. So when I moved from Belleville to Troy, I met a lot of people that I still know to this day. And so I met him. We grew up playing ball. I moved to Florida for a couple years. I come back. He's like, "Hey, I know all these Metallica songs on drums." And I thought, well, fuck, I know all these Metallica songs on guitar. So let's jam, and we did, and and we sounded good. I mean, right out of the gate, we sounded good. So we found us a couple guys, and next thing you know, we're playing shows in basements, garages, parties, living rooms, wherever we could, set up and people would come out. 16, 17, 18 years old, man, it was really happening. Like, okay, I'm not just sitting in my bedroom learning how to play guitar. I'm actually in front of people now, and um, the excitement, the adrenaline was just, it was off the charts. Next thing you know, a few years go by, and me and him said, the guys we were with, we good friends. We just knew we had to, in order to go further, we had to find our other guys, and we set off to do that. And the weird thing is, when we back in '97, we made this move. We find our guys, and during the building process of Eli Stone, yeah, I don't know, 6, 8 months into this, maybe less than that, um, I get a phone call. Hey, we're gonna let you go, and we're gonna go with Mark. Hey, sorry, but come get your shit. You're gone. And man, I felt my heart sank. So you know, what the fuck am I to do now? I worked so hard for this, and I just got the phone call. We're letting you go. And well, that didn't sit too good with me. So I'd say for the next year, I was going to see these guys play, and they're doing it, man. They're playing clubs right out of the gate, some big clubs in the St. Louis area, and I'm standing in the back watching my fucking band that I was creating and started. I'm on the sideline. Wow, what happened? So I watched these guys for like a year make a name for themselves, and um, here I am on the sideline. Then eventually I start talking again to them. I start moving gear. I became a roadie for my band. I became a roadie. So I had to swallow my pride, and I don't know. I guess a year after, Tinny, one of the guitar players, he's like, "I gotta go." He leaves. I think he went off into the Marines. Boom! I get a phone call. Hey, Lauren, hey, you want to be in the band? Yeah, yeah, I do want to be in the band. I didn't want to leave the band. Okay, so fast forward a couple years, I'm in the band. We start working on a second album called Driven, which I think I came up with the title of the album. I don't know. But we go into the studio, we record. Next thing I know, we're back and forth to Los Angeles, LA, Hollywood, whatever. Boom, boom, constantly flying there and back, there and back. We're going down to Houston and back. We got management in Houston. We got booking agents out of Champaign and Billings, Montana. You know, things are taking off at a rapid pace at this point. Then the touring starts. Holy shit. Now we are 724, baby. We are all over the fucking map. And I mean, again, it's happening fast. We go up to Chicago and play a show at the Metro. I mean, amazing venue, historic venue. And that night, we invite these girls back, which, long story short, I would eventually be married to one of those ladies a couple years, I'd say 3 years after that show. She was in school in Indianapolis at the time, so we stayed in touch for about a year. I would fly her in, fly her out, and eventually I said, hey, look, you know, I can't do this anymore. So she moved to St. Louis, and we got married in Vegas. And in '06, we had our daughter, Mackenzie. And, you know, fast forward a few years, the divorce happens, and, you know, I lost everything. I lost my daughter. I didn't see my daughter for another 11 years. And that was tough. Not only that, you know, the band was coming to an end. We'd been together about 11 years. You know, during that time, during the 11 years, I was let go right out of the gate, but I come back, and I'd say 5 or 6 years after being back, I left the band for a short while, and then I returned, and we started work again on a third album. And you know, we were in LA doing a showcase at the Whiskey the night before 9/11. We had a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, we had a handful of record labels interested. You know, the next day we're going to meet, we're going to talk about, you know, possibly signing a deal. And well, the next day was 9/11, so the tour was canceled. We were like 2 weeks into the tour. It was like a 3-day ride home, and that was bad. That was really bad. Um, at that point, we lose our management, we lose our booking over the next 6 to 8 months. Everything just kind of fell apart. So we bought a new studio in Wood River, and we went right back to work on writing an album called Hard Times, which we would go through some changes with filling our bass slot. We had to let Lonnie go, and we brought in another guy, and then we brought in another guy. We finally settled with this guy, Chris Greaves, I think was his last name. And I mean, it worked. It was working, but the direction of the band was, I don't know, man. There was a shift. There was something going on. It wasn't the same. It was kind of like we had lost who the fuck we were during that our identity. We weren't the same core. So you know, whatever happened in LA at 9/11 over the next couple 2 or 3 4 years just changed the course of what me and the guys were gonna do. And unfortunately, it would all come to an end. And at that point, when it did, I lost my fucking identity. I didn't know who I was because I'd spent my entire life working up to that point. And then we were living that dream, And then, lo and behold, with the divorce, lose the house, lose the vehicles, lose the kid, lose the band. Now I'm sleeping on couches, and I was at a total loss. It was pretty devastating to say the least. So I don't know. I'm running for like 4 months, drinking and partying, doing drugs, doing this stupid shit, and you know, sold all my music gear. I mean, it was. I didn't have nothing. I mean, I literally just had like a couple suitcases of clothes. Now, prior, I had everything I can imagine up to that point. It's amazing what life can do sometimes when it changes on you. It changes course, changes direction, and you got to hold on, or you're fucking dead. So, um, I meet this girl, Becky. She was working at Hooters at the time, and she was a bartender. And I never chased bartenders because, everybody wants your girlfriend, right? Who the fuck wants to date a bartender? You got every guy trying to pick her up out the door. So I didn't, I swore I wasn't going to go that route. And I went that route. And, well, the next 4 years of my life would be shaky ground, man. I'll tell you what. It was, yeah. I would also gain another daughter 2 years after being with her. And I haven't seen my youngest daughter in probably 10, 11 years. Kind of like the same with my first daughter, kind of same kind of thing happened. So, man, that was really fucked up. And here I am still paying for it. I'm still paying for it. So, yeah. But what do you do, man? You gotta somehow dig deep and keep pushing forward. And which I did, but it wasn't gonna be easy. So I guess we'll just get to that uh, on the next part two. Stay tuned.